Alright, welcome back to another art video, and today we actually have a commission. This one was for Quit in the Discord, or Quit Gaming here on YouTube, I think. And the request was for me to draw his Vera from Final Fantasy XIV, and so I did. And I think the end result looks pretty decent, although in hindsight, there is a lot that I could have done better, and there's a lot that I would have wanted to do better, although I'm not quite good enough to do that yet. So, starting from the bottom, first of all, this swimsuit is a design that I came up with myself, and as it turns out, designing characters is a lot harder than you would think. It requires a lot of experience that I don't have, so you'll see it later, but there's a piece of cloth that's attached to pretty much nothing, so I should have thought that through before I put that in. What's funny is I did actually draw a mannequin, and I designed this outfit around that, and I still didn't catch it back then, so that's something I'm gonna have to pay attention to in the future, at least when I'm designing my own stuff, but that's probably not going to happen for, I want to say at least another year. But one thing that I tried to do with this illustration is go the route of realism a bit more, because that's actually something that I've been practicing pretty recently. Well, at least when I'm practicing my values and that sort of stuff, I usually have these portraits of people in grayscale, and then I try to replicate those. But I thought I was able to do that, you know, similar to Zumi or Sakimi-chan. Turns out that's actually pretty difficult. You need a lot of practice before you can do that. The face is the one area where I really wanted to try it, and it failed, so I had to make some quick adjustments in the middle of the process to make it look more anime-like, at least to make it look like something that I was actually able to do. Which is why the face ended up looking not quite right, at least in my eyes. I could have done it way better had I just gone with the anime right from the start, but I wanted to try the realism, and that's what I get for doing something that I've never practiced before. So again, that's something that I should have kept in mind, and I should have tried that before I actually put it into practice. I'm really pissed off at that, but I think my skin shading has been getting better compared to last time. The area around the collarbones definitely needs some improvement, so I'm gonna have to look into that. The stomach does look pretty cool, and I have been going through a tutorial book that covers that in great detail, so that would naturally look pretty good. And I think the arms also look pretty nice, although the armpits are really difficult to draw, so that's something I'm going to have to pay attention to, especially the area around her right deltoid. Oh, it looks so terrible. I don't know what I was thinking. Now, the hair, in terms of color, looks pretty decent, I think. Definitely looks a lot better than the Fiore I did, I think, a week or two ago. So there's definitely improvement there. Now, this character has this dual color type of hair with pink and blue. First time I've ever done something like that, so I didn't really know how to do that. So I just put some of the shading layers on Multiply. I don't think that's the best way to do it, but that's how I did it. In terms of the way it's drawn, it could have definitely been a lot better, because on Quit's model in Final Fantasy XIV, the hair is a bit more wavy, whereas here I just went nuts, made it as random as possible. So I definitely need to go practice regular hairstyles first a lot more before I can start to tackle hairstyles like this. My clothing shading has also improved a little bit, no real complaints there, although in the way the clothing is drawn, I definitely need to pay more attention to how real-life clothing is sewn and why it looks the way it does, because that'll help me understand how to actually draw it properly. Now, the background still looks very simple, but I like the way it turned out. I'm definitely getting a lot more comfortable drawing backgrounds for my characters now, although I still need a lot of practice with perspective, which I've been neglecting, before I can make the background and the character look like they're part of a single scene. And speaking of being part of a single scene, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it doesn't look like she is part of the background, and I don't know why that is, because if you look at the illustrations done by some other professionals, the character always looks like they belong in the background, but here she just doesn't, and I don't know why that is. My guess is that I need to do more with cast shadows or just lighting in general, because my characters really don't have any cast shadows on them. Like, there's some tiny shadows in certain spots, but that's pretty much it. Whereas if you look at illustrations done by some other professionals, you have these huge spots, these huge areas of shadow, and that kind of adds contrast to the entire image. That's just my assumption, but I think that's what I'm going to focus on in the upcoming weeks, the cast shadows, and then do another illustration as an experiment to see if it actually makes a difference. And I also need to work on my faces, or just the heads in general, because for the past 2 months, all I've been doing is just working on my painting skills, so essentially working with color and working in grayscale, and learning how to blend properly and that sort of stuff. Whereas I've just been completely neglecting the actual drawing part. So I think that's also what I'm going to focus on. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. So if you have any more criticism, please tell me in the comments, because that helps me improve at a very rapid rate. And once again, Quit, thank you for suggesting this character. I hate saying suggesting. I can't even pronounce the word properly. But pretty fun character. I learned a lot from drawing hair in particular. And if anybody else has any suggestions for characters, let me know in the comments. And if it's a fun character, I might just take you up on your request. But thanks for watching, and I guess I'll catch you all later. Peace!